Yo, this is your boy Philip Butler, aka Philco Joe, and I'm excited today. I just thought I'd throw a quick video together and mess around with you, play with your minds a little bit. So I was watching a movie, Fantastic Beasts, and where to find them, I think is the title or something. And I thought, you know what, I want to throw a quick video together as like a little teaser. Boom! I'm going to show you 3 movie clips and a couple of objects, and I want you all to tell me what they have in common. All right, got it. Next. All right, next. All right, I think it's good. I think we'll go there. All right. First image. You all tell me, what does this have in common with the other 3 clips that I showed you? What's going on in Philco Joe's mind? I'm just joking when I refer to myself in 3rd person. And by my heart name, which is a family nickname, by the way. But nonetheless, what do you see? What could this shot right here, this coffee mug, with all of these coffee beans and the steam rising, what could this possibly have in common with the other 3 clips that I just showed you? Harry Potter, Star Wars, when Star Wars was making pretty decent movies. So where am I going with this? Okay, let me just get straight to the point. Here's the thing they have in common, right? When it comes to drawing, when it comes to painting, when it comes to storytelling, visual storytelling, that's what I'm going to refer to this as. You need to remind people of familiar things, right? So if you want to tell a story, well, what's going to be in that story? They're going to be characters. What are characters? They're usually beings, living, breathing, walking things, right? Whether it's the Terminator, right? Or Wall-E from the Pixar animation, or Johnny Five, which is, I think, Wall-E kind of, whether it's a machine, it's human, right? They're living objects, okay? Well, where does the story take place? You know, what's the setting? Well, it's in a city, it's in a cave, it's in a planet somewhere in a galaxy far, far away, right? They're worlds, they're universes. And what do we have in these worlds? What do we have in these universes? We have physics, we have elements, we have particles, we have things like that. I just kind of want to, I guess, create a teaser for the tutorials that I'm going to start putting out, that I want to share from what I've learned. You know what, I am going to share my screen again. I am going to share my screen again. Alright, so I pulled up this image the other day, right? What makes this cool is it's believable because of the lighting, right? We see and we understand how light works in our real world because of physics, like how light travels, how light bounces off of objects, how objects reflect light, known as their reflectivity. Different types of materials reflect light differently, right? A leather jacket is going to absorb or reflect light differently than just a regular cotton t-shirt, right? Or dry skin versus sweaty skin, and so on and so forth. Granite versus metal. You get the point, right? So I really get excited when it comes to creating stories, visual stories, whether it's comics, storyboards, animatics, animation, because you can really take these things and do really wonderful, just wonderful things with it, right? So when I show you those films, we think of Harry Potter, we think of the lighting when they're waving their wands and they're casting their spells, and Iron Man fighting Thanos, and there's dust and debris kicking up everywhere. Thanos is a 3-dimensional or a computer-generated character, but he looks like a real alien from a different universe, fighting a guy covered in armor on a different moon out in yonder with a setting sun that we're familiar with seeing, right? And Iron Man has got his illuminated light on his chest and his eyes and his hands, and we can see all of this stuff clearly, but we're not confused, right? Because everything is nice and organized. Or Finn fighting Kylo Ren with a lightsaber. And so what do they all have in common with the mug, the coffee mug, and the swatches? Light. It's light. The better you understand color and light, and you can play around with them, and you can create wonderful effects, right? Whether it's something as realistic as drawing a coffee mug, or doing a storyboard, or doing a comic book of characters fighting, doing an animation of characters fighting, or just creating the movie, right? Doing the storyboards and the animatics as a production artist for the film and production crew to take those, and then they put together these fantastic scenes that we see before our eyes, right? Or the computer generated artists. There's tons and tons of fabulously talented artists working on these production sets. It's amazing. So there's all kinds of information out here. So let your passion pour out and just let it flow. The passion is just overflowing. So hey, I'm still gonna focus on line work, because what fun will it be to be able to put all of this stuff together the way I just described it, when you still struggle with how to draw an actual object. I'm gonna pull something up real quick. Again, I am using Photoshop on my Wacom tablet. It's a Wacom Pro 16 with my stylus pen on my iMac, as of always. Light is simply a source of illumination, and from a physics standpoint, light travels in a straight line, right? Like, for those who don't understand Einstein, this is, Einstein, amongst many other artists who came before him and who have come since, have helped us unravel this mystery of what light is. It's a source of illumination. When you don't have light, you just completely have darkness, period. I'm a Christian, so I think God is the originator of light. God is light. Therefore, when he says, "Let there be light," it's like, oh, we can see now. You know what I mean? But from a scientific standpoint, from a physics standpoint, it is simply a ray of light that travels in a straight line. So when you see me, when you see the objects behind me, you see these things as a result of light, right? And you can see color as a result of light, because the light illuminates everything. The video clips that I showed you, the objects that I showed you, they all have in common. It's light. And I went out and celebrated a birthday with some family and friends yesterday, and there was a young man there, a 10-year-old artist, very talented young guy, and I saw him practicing with some swatches, and I just wanted so badly to just jump in there and kind of illuminate a little bit more for him about how to transition from light to dark. And this is basically what I'm going to show you here. That's what that swatch meant. Alright, so in nature, you have, and I'm going to let this middle box be the gray. I am just going to color this in really quickly, kind of make it a transition in between. I'm going to make this, oops, hit the wrong button. Make this a transition in between, like so. Okay, so this color swatch right here can be a tool to tell me how to control lighting. So if I am drawing the coffee mug, right, and then all of this in this area is the background, right? Now, the swatch will help me organize the lighting situation. All right, so here for a second. So let's not get too carried away with how colors and light work together and so on and so forth. We're just gonna focus on just brightness and darkness, right? So the coffee mug is white, the dishes are white, the table is wood, and the background is dark. The table is made of wood from So from a value standpoint, value is how light or how dark something is from white to black. That's what value is. So colors have a value, right? So blue is going to be a deeper or darker value. It's a color, but as a color on the value scale, it has a darker value than say yellow, like a true yellow. A true yellow is going to be more like in this range, right? A true orange color might be kind of somewhere in this range, right? If I want the table to be wood, then I'm just gonna kind of mark this real quick. That's wood, so the value is gonna be closer to the mid range. The coffee mug, the dishes are gonna be white, and this background here is going to be black. So I'm going to go ahead and color these in to give you a quick demonstration. The dishes, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make it this color. Alright. And I'm gonna make the background back here dark. Okay. If you're going to draw comics, if you're going to draw a storyboard panel, you can use values to sort of tell us where we are in the environment, the lighting situation. The lighting situation can also set the mood, and it just really helps to organize things, right? So if the light is coming from this direction, well, you're going to take a light object, and when this light object is in shadow, it's going to become a midtone. I guess I should probably label these things too, right? From a value standpoint, this is going to represent, this end is going to represent light, it's going to represent midtone, or like a half shadow, or something that's halfway between shadow and light, and then the dark would represent shadow, right? So then this side being closest to the light would look like this. This dish, the edge would be like this, and this part that's in shadow sort of work like that, and you would pretty much get the same thing for the table. Alright, and this part inside the dish is a deeper shadow. It's going to look like that. Right, and you're kind of going to have the same situation right over here. Right, and this is how you organize, and then also the table. Okay, and yeah, so usually I would kind of come in and like smooth these transitions out. For now, I just want to keep it like this, and then I also just to sort of put a concluding idea or concluding point on this quick message. If this is a cylinder right here, this is how you transition. Right? Actually, the light is coming from the right side. Put in my highlight. Then put in my shadow. Like that. Top part with not be receiving a lot of light, so it might look something like that, right? And then you would just sort of transition between these two, the different planes, like this. You transition between these two, sort of like that. And that's basically how you would transition, right? But you would use that to organize all of these complex things in your environment, right? You would also use the value to group things so that we can keep focus on what's important. You got two guys fighting in the foreground. We don't want to be distracted by everything else, so we're going to be paying attention to what's going on in front of us. And one of the best ways to do that is contrast. Areas of dark right up against areas of light. So when you see Iron Man fighting, he's got flashlights in his chest, flashlights in his eyes, flashlights in his hands, and he's got a red suit on. Red is relatively dark value, so that's just an example. The Harry Potter scene, there's a lot of darkness going on, and they're whipping wands and whatnot around. It's very colorful looking, right? Tony Stark's mask within the inside his face, inside the mask. It's very dark, but his face is illuminated. So we're paying attention to all of the acting and whatnot that's going on in his face. Kylo Ren and Finn with the lightsabers fighting in the dark woods, right? There's snow there, there are trees there, but we got to pay attention to what's going on with the fighting. So the lightsabers are the brightest objects in the scene, right? It's the fighting that we're worried about. This is just a little teaser of what I want to get into with lighting with further tutorials. So hopefully you all can take this wherever you are and just apply it to what you do. If you have any questions, please reach out, contact me. My contact info will be listed in the comment section, and leave comments if you find this helpful or not. All right, so I'm going to drop another full tutorial Monday. And yeah, stay tuned, man. There's more to come. God bless, and y'all have a great weekend. Peace.